All right, so we've got Ron here swapping out from an undisclosed name brand alternator to this beautiful 400 plus amp monster from JS. Ron's currently pulling the belt by removing the tensioner, or the belt off the tensioner, excuse me, by depressing the tensioner. All right, Ron is now pulling the adapter plug, which we had to run and utilize with this old alternator, and we will not be using any longer. So at this point, the belt has been pulled. We have a mounting bolt here and a mounting bolt here. Once those are both removed, the alternator can swing out. But before we do that, we will be removing the single 13mm nut that's holding on the alternator distribution block. Once that's pulled, we'll move to the next step. We'll show you guys then. So another thing for people to think about when they're upgrading their alternator is the factory grounding point that you're actually supposed to attach like your jumper cables to or something if you need to jump your truck. What we do on these is generally we take the alternators, we clean the bracket up, and then we run a big solid 1/0 directly down to the frame, and it gives us a good ground point for the alternator case as well to help reduce alternator whine. Next thing we got here, new alternator in place. Ron's going ahead and putting one of the two mounting bolts in, and the ground is also underneath the head of the bolt. So as you guys can see, bolts are both tight. Got the alternator distribution block bolted to the charge stud, and last thing's going to be plugging the alternator in. Now there's a number of options what you guys are going to do. They generally give you a 4-pin plug, which is real nice and easy, because when you plug this in, the wire that is closest to the charge stud, when you plug it in, actually goes to the charge stud. The green wire is not used, and the third wire away from the charge stud ends up going to a 12-volt switch source, which we generally go to like the fuse box or something along those lines. Other than that, alternator's installed. We'll see where it charges. And here you guys go, fully installed. We ended up opting to use the plug that they included. So the red wire, of course, goes to your charge stud. Your blue wire comes down, traipses along, and it runs here into our fuse box with an added fuse. Alternator's charging 14.8, 14.9, which is perfect. As you can see, JS took care of us. You guys get you some JS stuff so you guys can support something like this. Woo! All them solid 8s. And then SB4s with a see-through wall. Thanks, guys.